Welcome to our exploration of Aegon's Conquest, a monumental event that shaped Westeros. Aegon's Conquest is the cornerstone of Westerosi history, marking a period from which all other events are dated, either AC, after the conquest, or BC, before the conquest. This conquest didn't happen overnight. It took more than 2 years, culminating in Aegon's coronation in Old Town. Even then, the conquest wasn't complete, as Dorne remained unconquered. Let's start by getting to know Aegon Targaryen, also known as Aegon the Conqueror. He was of pure Valyrian blood from a lineage of ancient dragon lords. The Targaryens' rise began 12 years before the doom of Valyria, when Aegon Targaryen moved his family and dragons to Dragonstone, foreseeing Valyria's destruction through his daughter Daenys, the Dreamer's visions. Aegon was born in 27 BC on Dragonstone, to Aerion and Valenna of House Velaryon. Breaking tradition, Aegon married both his sisters, Visenya and Rhaenys, a union born out of both duty and desire. The Targaryens' connection with their dragons was vital, with Balerion, Vhagar, and Meraxes under their command. Before setting sail to conquer Westeros, Aegon had a large map, the Painted Table, created, indicating his ambitions. At this time, Westeros was divided into 7 kingdoms, often at war with each other. Aegon's notable rivals included Harren the Black, the cruel ruler of the Riverlands, and Argilac the Arrogant, the Storm King. Harren was infamous for his cruelty, while Argilac, though aging, sought an alliance with the Targaryens to defend against Harren. Argilac proposed a marriage alliance, offering his daughter and lands as dowry. Aegon countered with an offer to marry Argilac's daughter to his friend and champion Orys Baratheon. Insulted, Argilac rejected the proposal and sent back the hands of Aegon's envoy in a box, declaring, "These are the only hands your bastard shall have of me." Aegon responded by summoning his allies and sending ravens across Westeros, declaring himself the one true king. Those who bent the knee would keep their lands and titles, while those who resisted would be destroyed. With a modest host, Aegon and his sisters landed at the mouth of the Blackwater Rush and quickly established a foothold, building the Aegon Fort on the highest hill. The Targaryens quickly secured nearby castles, but faced their first major test against Lords Darklyn of Duskendale and Mooten of Maidenpool. Aegon and Orys Baratheon defeated them, with Aegon's dragon Balerion playing a decisive role. The conquered lords swore fealty to House Targaryen, significantly boosting their resources. Now let's talk about Aegon's siblings. Visenya was a formidable warrior, carrying the Valyrian sword Dark Sister. In contrast, Rhaenys was more whimsical, passionate about music and poetry, yet she spent more time flying than her siblings. Aegon was a commanding presence who relied heavily on his sisters and counsel, but took charge when necessary. Aegon solidified his control by raising his loyal followers to high positions, proclaiming Orys Baratheon as his shield and hand of the king. The new Targaryen battle standard, a red 3-headed dragon on a black field, symbolized his claim to the throne, resonating deeply with both the nobility and the small folk. With the initial battles won and his power growing, Aegon's next challenge was to deal with the responses of the other kings of Westeros. The kings of Westeros prepared for war. Harren the Black and Argilac the Arrogant rallied their forces, while the Princess of Dorne and the Boy King of the Eyrie sought alliances. In the north, King Torrhen Stark and his advisors debated their response to Aegon's threat. Aegon's army split, with Orys Baratheon and Rhaenys moving south to Storm's End, Visenya heading north, and Aegon marching to Harrenhal. Despite initial setbacks, the Targaryens' dragons ultimately turned the tide. Harrenhal fell when Aegon and Balerion set the castle ablaze, ending Harren the Black's reign. Aegon offered Harren a chance to surrender, but Harren arrogantly replied, "Stone does not burn," to which Aegon warned, "When the sun sets, your line shall end." That night, Aegon's dragon Balerion incinerated Harrenhal, killing Harren and his sons. With Harrenhal secured, Aegon turned his attention to the southern kingdoms, where new challenges awaited. In the south, Orys Baratheon faced Argilac the Arrogant. Despite the stormy weather and fierce resistance, Orys prevailed. Argilac refused to yield and died in battle, cursing his enemies. Argilac's daughter Argella initially resisted but was eventually captured and treated with unexpected kindness by Orys, who later married her, securing the loyalty of the Stormlands. With key victories in the north and south, Aegon continued his campaign to unify Westeros. Aegon's victories at Harrenhal and Storm's End marked significant milestones in his conquest. The remaining kings saw the writing on the wall. At the Trident, King Torrhen Stark bent the knee, earning the moniker the King Who Knelt, thus sparing his people from the dragon's wrath. As Aegon's power grew, he faced the combined might of two powerful Western kings. The mightiest threat came from the combined forces of King Mern IX of the Reach and King Loren I of the Rock. At the Field of Fire, Aegon and his sisters used their dragons to devastating effect, annihilating the enemy forces and securing the submission of the Westerlands. King Loren survived and swore fealty, while King Mern and his lineage perished. With the major battles won, Aegon turned his focus to securing the remaining regions of Westeros. With the Riverlands and Stormlands secured, Aegon turned his attention to the remaining regions. Queen Visenya secured the Vale through diplomacy, while Queen Rhaenys faced resistance in Dorne. Oldtown submitted peacefully after the High Septon's visions, avoiding destruction. Aegon's second coronation in Oldtown solidified his rule, marking the true beginning of his reign. Aegon's conquest brought the Seven Kingdoms under one rule, establishing the Targaryen dynasty's foundation. From the ashes of war, Aegon built King's Landing, the new capital, and forged the Iron Throne from the swords of his fallen foes, symbolizing his unyielding authority over Westeros.